Hello everyone, my name's Anthony Gallegos, and I'm here with Mitchell Dyer.
I'm gonna continue to learn to space.
And this is our Learn to Kerbal series.
I'm enjoying this so far. We
now,
built a rocket last time.
Yeah, last time was just the fundamentals, like the very bare basics of what you need in a rocket. And
Which I failed.
We kind of went over a little bit of decoupling and all that sort of thing.
Different stages and stuff like that.
I'm going to build a rocket for Mitch real quick.
Something that will achieve orbit. Which is our goal.
That's what we're
today.
trying to do. Yeah, just get orbit.
So what do you have here? You have just your pod, your parachute.
Yeah,
so
we're going to send up a
Kerbal.
single Kerbal. This is a single Kerbal pod.
So
it's
excited.
One of the lighter ones.
He's going to be in orbit.
And then eventually, if we want him to return, we should put a coupler on here.
Well, we should just in case.
So that will eventually return.
That's a good
own.
habit to develop. Just having that.
Planning for return is a good habit to develop. So then we'll just put a core rocket underneath it. 2 should probably be enough.
Okay. Any more and you might have weird stability issues, right? Like you might just start spinning out of control.
Well, it's just that it'd be overkill. Like we'd be adding a lot more weight that's not necessary.
Okay.
Like this alone will not do it, but
no, you have to.
That's why
get
we'll
fancy.
do a quick. If you hit X, you can see the symmetry.
Yeah.
And that's how you quickly change how many of the objects you want to add.
And then the fuel pods will adapt when you add those, right?
Right. So when you go to attach it to there, they'll actually. Well, sometimes there's a current bug where you have to kind of attach it in one spot and then move it, and then it'll see where they are. So then I am going to throw some of
That's too big.
These engines on.
Yeah. Look at all those thrusters.
It's going to go through fuel pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, can you add more fuel tanks? Would that be beneficial?
I mean, we could
for those side
just
tanks?
do this.
Yeah. Might be a little heavy.
I think it'll work.
Okay.
Part of the fun sometimes is, will this work?
Yeah.
No? Well.
While you were away, Anthony, and I was tinkering with Kerbal, experimenting with different ships,
Uh-huh.
I built one that was very unstable, to the point where its thrusters were too big and too powerful for what I had constructed, and the entire thing spun totally out of control.
So what I'm doing here is I'm adding fuel lines, and I'm doing what's called asparagus staging. This is an important part of achieving orbit. You can do it without it, but it's so important. Asparagus staging basically is where you have a symmetrical number of fuel tanks on a ship, and the idea is that as you go up higher, you'll be dropping fuel tanks, but you won't drop all 6 at once. You'll be dropping 2 at a time, and they'll be falling off opposite of each other. So it'll go these 2, then these 2, then these 2, so that as you're getting higher, where the atmosphere gets thinner, you're getting less weight and less thrust, but that's okay because you don't need as much thrust.
Huh.
And these fuel tanks are feeding into the next tank the whole time. So even though these will burn out first, this next one will still start full. This next one will start full, and then eventually this one will start full too, instead of burning them all at once.
Okay.
It's kind of a hard thing to wrap your mind around, but I'm just showing you the basics of it. Which is
I don't fully get it.
You start from 1.
I like it.
You go to this fuel tank, to this fuel tank, then from here to the bot. Wait. Then
It's getting finicky.
from here.
There you go. Nope. It's not having it.
From here to the body. Ooh. Anytime you do anything, remember, Control Z is your friend.
To undo and then to make it, fix itself.
Yeah.
Do it from the top.
Well, I've been hearing mixed things about whether you put it from the top, it won't actually feed the whole tank.
Huh. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But I don't know if that. I don't actually know if that's true. I've heard conflicting rumors about that. Okay.
There you go. That works out better anyway, just in case.
And so now we're gonna do the same thing for this side. To here, and you can always hold Alt and click an item, and then it will duplicate it.
So what I did last time with my terrible out-of-control rocket was I thought that these fuel lines were stabilizers. I thought this would keep my stuff stuck together really well. Turns out it did not at all have that effect.
No, fuel lines are actually quite flimsy.
As I learned, yeah, everything was just shaking and wobbling and spinning, and it was a bad scene. Could you not have just done exactly what you just did once with the symmetry mode on?
No, because it would.
It's not symmetrical.
It would try and copy all 6 fuel lines.
That's right. On
and
every
these ones
single
really
piece.
have to feed the specific ones. So you probably could have done it with just the 2-time symmetry mode, because you are doubling up, like reversing the pattern. So see, if you look at it from above, it almost looks like an S. Exactly. That's what you want when you're doing asparagus staging.
Okay.
Then just to make it look cool, why not? We'll throw some nose cones on top of this.
Yeah.
And then for stability, we'll add some winglets. And then one thing that's really great to know about advanced rocket designs, if you go to control, you have these SAS modules.
Yes.
They're advanced SAS and regular SAS. I think this will matter more when the final game comes out, when the cost, you see it says cost 600 versus cost 1100. That will actually matter when like there's a campaign and you're actually trying to use a budget. Basically, so what it says, stability augmentation system, spin auto stabilizer. Whenever you hit T with this on, it tries to auto stabilize the
Oh,
ship.
that's good. I need that.
And so and then underneath it I put an RCS fuel tank so that we can do a little bit of fine adjustments if we need to.
Okay.
Because that's kind of a pain to turn when you get out in orbit. But in theory, this rocket should do it.
You
this
got a
is
good
a
name
super
in mind?
simple ship design.
Yeah.
Um,
It's good though. Simple and effective.
let's
Anthony.
call it the
Mark II.
Butts Mark II. I'll save it.
I like it.
Okay. Just to be safe, I'm also going to go to structural and do these launch stability enhancers.
So this is a symmetrical ship. Do you necessarily need that, or does it just help to not have to launch from the landing pad or the launch pad directly?
I just try and not launch from the landing pad usually.
Okay.
Also important to make sure that those aren't going to run into anything, like a fin, as it takes off. So the most important part of asparagus staging, though, that I'll just try and do real quick, is that your staging has to be right.
Yeah, that was my big issue.
So asparagus staging, we don't want all 6 to come off at once, right? We want them to come off in pairs, in very specific pairs. So what you can do is if you double-click your decouplers, which are all currently linked, right? You double-click them, and now you can temporarily separate them. You can mouse over the one that you want to disconnect first, which in this case is this one and the one opposite to it. So I can mouse over it, the part, and I can see which one lights up on.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you
And
have the
so
bottom
now
of the second tier.
I move that to here, and then I go back to here, double-click to detach them from each other. I see the one that's lighting up. Move that to here. Then I'll make another stage again for the second ones.
This is some advanced science.
It's really not, though. Like asparagus staging, like I want you guys to learn from this. You see what it is. It's that each fuel tank feeds. If you have 3, you're going to detach 2 opposite of each other. The next 2 are going to detach. And so the point is that you're forming a chain of fuel feeds, one to the next.
So while you're burning fuel, you're also
feeding into the next
chaining
tank,
into the next one
and
to keep it
eventually
fuller.
chaining into the center one, so that when you finally detach all the other pods, the center one's still burning. So the second one, we'll have this one, and we're almost done. This one, come on, decoupler. Okay.
It's good though. You're taking a nice slow pace, so people like me who don't understand this very well have a good amount of time to sink in this
So
stage.
now the way it's going to work when we launch this is that all 6 of these will detach. All 6 and the center thruster will all start firing.
Got it.
Fuel will be feeding, and then as we go up, we'll detach these 2, then these 2, and then finally these 2.
Okay.
As we get higher and higher and higher. And then eventually, hopefully have enough thrust to kill our orbit and return via parachute.
Pray for me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this. Switch
Okay.
my seats.
So, the first thing you're going to want to do, Mitch, we're doing a night launch.
Oh wow, look.
Uh,
It's all dark.
So go ahead and shift your throttle up.
Yep.
Now, before we launch, you're going to hit T to enable your SAS, and you'll see a light right
So
here
that's like a one-time thing
on your ball.
Okay.
Well, if you ever want to make corrections manually, you need to hit T to turn it off, because if you don't, it's locking into that position.
Okay.
The computer's auto-compensating. So if you want manual control, and a good way that, say you ever have like a horrible accident like we did in your first launch where you're kind of spinning out of control, if you kind of feather the SAS button on, toggle on, off, you can actually, and making corrections, it'll like try and stop
minute
itself over and
Okay.
over and over again,
Okay,
and that's
okay.
kind of a way to gather yourself under control.
That's a good little cheat.
So in theory, we should have a
Alright.
very straight launch right here off the bat. And so you'll see that there will be a pair of fuel tanks that are burning faster than the others, and a pair that are also burning a little bit faster. But once
Yeah.
we decrease,
But these ones here,
once
like
we
this
hit
one's burning
spacebar,
really
as
slow.
soon as these are empty, they'll refuel those other ones. So as soon as you see those run out, hit spacebar once. All right, so we dropped one, and now they're all full again.
Oh my god!
And it'll do that again each time we go.
Look at that.
And so the thing about orbit, Mitch, while we're going now, is that when we hit about 11,000, between 11,000 and 13,000 meters off the ground, you're going to want to move over to the right and into the nav. The heading here says 90 degrees.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're going.
That'll be my D key.
Yes, and you'll need to toggle off. Hit spacebar again. Stage again. There you go. And you're going to want to do it here in a second. And now you're going to need to disable SAS and start moving over to 90-degree heading. Here, I'm going to enable your RCS with R to give you a little bit more power to kind of change your heading.
To 90 degrees?
Yeah, or 45. That works. It doesn't matter which way. As long as we're on the nav ball where it's on this sort of outer
we're out of
circle.
Control here, I think.
No. You got this.
I don't know what's going on.
Just start like I said, you can feather the SAS a little.
Okay.
But you need to start turning.
Head
towards this 45. Remember, don't just think of it as up, down, left, right.
I don't really particularly understand what I'm looking for. I'm just following your instructions.
All right, we're just going to sit at this heading right here.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you can see this outer circle of the nav ball.
Yeah.
And so you want to get on some sort of heading.
What I'm supposed to be thinking of is my orbit.
As the arc. And so now we're going to hit M for map. And spin to where you can see this. And mouse over the AP button. And so, okay, so that's already great. Well, this rocket has incredible thrust. Usually you want to kill your thrust when you hit AP 70,000 or higher. And so what that AP is that's actually telling you, hold on, I'm actually going to pause real quick, just so we can explain some stuff. So that AP marker, what it is that's the highest point on your flight path, basically, or the highest point of your orbit.
Before you come back down.
Right. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mouse over the AP point. Don't resume flight yet. Yeah, and see if you can right-click and make... Okay, so we can't while we're in the flight.
All right,
so you're going to hit that in 2 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to hit it, and you're going to click. Go ahead. And now click it. Or right-click it.
I'm right-clicking it.
Hold on.
Nope.
Hold on, Mitch. What am I missing
here? Anthony's taking over.
Okay, you just have to click on the line. Once left click. Then you click Add Maneuver, and now drag that out until we...
Oh, boy.
Drag that. And now drag it until we
we have an arc outside Earth.
Right.
Whoa.
No, go back. Okay, hold on.
I'm trying.
Hold on. Click this, which is the opposite one. Bring it back until we have a circle around the planet. Just kind of... All right, stop. See,
I'm not even doing it. Do I... do you drag or do you hold? I don't really understand it.
You just leave it. Like, drag it a little bit out, and it'll slowly grow, right?
So when I drag it, it's not actually stopping.
Right. But just let go when you want it to stop.
Okay.
A little bit more, because we haven't quite got an orbit.
Is this my trajectory or is this a goal?
Oh, hold on. We might fuck up the orbit real quick. I'm just going to... If you ever need to delete these, you can right-click it, hit X.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit this.
So what is the maneuver? Is this something you're applying to the ship, or is this a guide?
This is a guide. So right here... Okay, that will work. So what we did is we dragged out this. This symbol is the one where you're trying to achieve orbit. This is the one where you're trying to come back.
Okay. It's got a little X in it.
Yeah, and so now what Mitch is going to do is he's going to turn off his SAS. You're going to maneuver towards the blue point.
Up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just think of it as pulling up. You're like on a. So it's inversed directions.
So I have just noticed. So I'm just doing a backflip right now.
You are, but when you find the blue, you got to find the blue point. And so you just got to move. I think
it's just the y-axis that's inverted. The x.
Yes.
Or the x is fine.
And so.
All right, so we're about in there.
This always tells you when you should do your burn. Typically, if you look at how long the burn's going to be, and you can go a little early. So just go ahead and start doing your burn now. Hold shift to burn towards it, and just kind of keep it trying to center on the center of that blue.
Okay.
And you're going to burn until this bar is gone.
Gotcha.
As long as you're staying within it. Yeah.
This is a lot of little fine movements.
Yes, and again, you can always hit your SAS to try and keep you locked into there, which is the button one you talk about.
So now that I'm in here, would that be helpful?
Yeah.
Is that something I should just
you could just let it do the autopiloting for you. Like once you're comfortable with where you're pointing, just hit T and leave it. And so now your RCS thrusters are kind of keeping you a little bit on track too when they need to.
These little guys here.
Yeah, and if you ever want to see like how much fuel you have, how much RCS you have at a glance, you can click resources once or mouse over it. But yeah. And a good way to track your orbit is if you hit M to bring up the map. You can actually see how your blue line is matching up against this yellow line.
The blue is me, and the yellow is where we want to be. So
Right,
we're basically just trying to hit that trajectory.
To match those paths.
Got it. And the blue line on my little thing here
is just what you're aiming
is the goal.
for. Yes.
That's how we achieve that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks real cool. So I think if you hit X, hit X.
I'm losing stuff. Okay, get rid of that thrust.
Okay, and we're gonna hit R to turn off your RCS because you don't need it right now. Now hit M. And
that's pretty close.
Well, it is, but mouse over the blue PE point. Yeah, so the PE is the lowest point.
Yeah.
I believe you will fall back in the atmosphere if you're 64 or below. So we could even thrust out a little bit more if you wanted.
Okay. So what does that mean? Do I just change
bring
that?
No, just bring thrust up again a little bit. You'll probably change that.
So shift.
Yeah, what I would do is, yeah, and then maybe you could probably even nose up a little if you wanted. It's up to you.
S to nose up, right?
Actually, just leave it. I bet you've achieved orbit. Here, we can just turn off. So go back to the map.
Okay. Map.
Okay. Now, if you ever want to delete a maneuver point, which is important, right-click on that symbol.
When you say right-click, I'm pretty sure you just mean click.
Sorry. Okay. So now
this is roughly what we are right now.
This is your orbit you have right now.
Okay.
And so, like I said,
this is my path.
Yeah. So your PE, what is the PE on it? 77. Oh yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, that burn you did gave you the extra jump you need. So at this point, you have achieved a stable orbit.
Okay.
Like you.
So from here, we could either bail on the orbit and go back to Earth.
Totally. You could sit here and speed up time, like I just did for you, and you're just going to
pivot
drifting around the Earth for the rest of your days.
Right on.
If we leave you, or Kerbal, as it's called.
So the other thing you can do is go to the moon.
It's true. We don't have the fuel, though, to go to the moon.
Yeah, we're almost out. So I should try to get this ship back to Earth.
Yes. And so to do that, we're going to go back to the maneuvering thing, and we're going to do another burn. Well, you can do it anywhere on the line.
Okay.
But typically,
where are we?
We're right here. This
Okay.
the little pod symbol. No, don't do it there. Add it on your AP. It always tends to be best to do maneuvers on your AP.
And it's this guy.
And so that's the one to extend your orbit.
Okay, yeah, we don't want
that. And so this is the one to kill your
orbit.
orbit.
To kill the orbit.
And so you just need to do it to any point where you'll hit the planet. Like, you could even... Like, that's great if you have the fuel to do that.
Yeah.
But even if you were to bring it to, like, right here, like, where your PE is...
Well, wouldn't it be easier to do it narrow, like this?
No, because you'd have to use a lot... Because right now you have a ton of horizontal velocity.
Right.
So every time you're doing that, you're having to kill your horizontal velocity. Yeah, it's a little finicky sometimes when you're playing with it.
So I'm not really sure how to gauge how good that is versus my fuel.
I mean, so typically all you need to do is, like, when you're doing that maneuver, right, go back and click it, and basically what you're trying to do, I think, did we? Oh, yeah. It's really kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You should delete the old one first, because right now you still have the other one up. So now you have, like, two kind of stacked. Zoom in with the mouse wheel. It can be a little challenging, I know.
It's like impossible to get a good look at that particular spot because the Earth is huge. Nope.
Here, hold on. Let's change your target to your ship. That'll help. So.
Here?
No, delete that one. Yeah, kill that one. Kill all of them.
I don't know what I'm killing.
Your maneuver points that are down here. Down on the
I
other.
thought the issue was that we couldn't do anything with them.
No.
Nope. I can add stuff.
Oh, you can kill them. You're just misclicking. Sorry. I don't mean to take control away from Mitch. It makes me feel like a douche. Here.
I'm not thrilled about this UI.
Again, work in progress, right? Right. Like, that's the biggest thing. So we'll add a maneuver there, right? Okay. And so all we're trying to do is we're trying to
kill in the orbit.
Kill the orbit just enough to where it hits the planet. That's probably
just
fine.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
we'll try that.
And so now
so when I map out, I want to again try to get into
towards
this
the blue
target.
Yeah.
Are we frozen here?
Yeah, well, it's frozen. We're not frozen. It's that you have SAS turned on, so you can't do any adjusting. And so right now you can do adjusting. It just is a little more painful when you don't have RCS turned on. Yeah, so there you go. Like I said, it auto-stabilized you. But we currently have 41 minutes.
So we're just going to hang here for 40 minutes with
you. So you can speed up time. One warning, though, is that when you speed up time, it currently also kind of can put weird stresses on physics. So if you have a really
Okay.
unstable ship, it can blow it up
Really?
really easy.
So
yeah.
the game isn't figuring out the difference between time and actual.
It's literally
speeds.
just speeding up
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
in the
yeah.
game. Yeah. So that can become a problem. Also, it's easy if you're not paying attention to speed up too fast and overshoot your burn, which in some cases, like when you have an orbit, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
You just wait till the next rotation. But other times, it's a disaster. Okay. Coming up on it. I'll stop us. This is going to be a really short burn, apparently. Okay.
So you lined up those 2 targets.
Yeah, well, actually, that one is just, that's how you can burn retro if you ever need to.
Okay.
Like, that'll tell you anytime if you ever want to decrease your orbit, how you can do it is always the green circle with an X through it.
So we have that's our kill the orbit target thing. We
Right.
lined it up with the blue, and now we just thrust.
Right. And so
All the way?
you can probably wait, because this is
So
only
it
going
is,
to be a
yeah,
6
it
second
wants me to
burn.
wait.
And you do have T minus 30.
Okay, and then I
Usually-
only want to burn until this runs out?
Right.
Okay.
And so usually you want to look at the estimated burn,
Okay.
look at the time until the node,
And try and match them up?
and burn like about, like if this said estimated burn was 1 minute, you would want to burn 30 seconds early. Like you usually like to burn
Okay.
half as early.
So wait till about now.
Yeah. It's going to be a short burn.
So just hold shifts?
And then when
then
it
let
when
go
it
or
goes
hit
out, hit
X?
X. So control is how you
A
can...
little early.
You're fine. Control is how you can bring your thrust down gradually, but X is how you kill it. So go ahead and hit M to bring up the map. And yeah, now you see
we
that
go.
you are on a collision course of sorts.
So what direction are we heading? This way?
Um,
It's kind of hard to tell.
I think the other direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point...
So we're looping around here.
But you are gonna
We're gonna
hit
land
the
in the
planet.
ocean.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate for our Kerbal.
Well, it floats. The pod floats, so
Okay.
he will live.
So he'll be okay.
And if anytime you ever want to do a burn from here, so that you can really watch how the 2 lines are going up, if you click this arrow on the bottom middle, that will bring up the ball, and you can navigate from here and do everything. It just doesn't look nearly as cool.
It's very true.
So at this point, I guess we
Speed
can
up
speed up time. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'll.
Oh, that looks so scary.
Yeah. So now we're coming in. You can probably... that's just giving you the warning about speeding up time.
yeah.
We're not sped up anymore, but yes, that's like a warning that it will bring up just to let you know.
So at what point should we stage?
I mean, you could even stage now and be fine.
Okay.
Because you're only going to separate the pod.
Right.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, they added in... That's a recent addition where they actually added in sort of the reentry.
Is the pod okay to handle that?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at our guy. He's so terrified.
So yeah, you could hit... Oh, you hit C to go in cockpit view. That's
Can't
all
really
he...
see
That's
much.
his only little window out into the world.
Yeah.
You can
There's his
actually
little feet.
control the ship from here.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying, though. So go ahead and hit space. Hit space.
And away we go.
So we separated the pod, and then when we hit about 1,000 meters, you'll hit
That's
space
when
one
I
more
wanna
time
hit
to
the
deploy
chute.
your parachute.
Okay. This is my parachute.
Yeah, I did give you one of those. Yeah, see, so it's nice because now that you separate from there, the bottom of this is actually slowing your speed down. Not that 100 meters per second is a...
Sure.
You're going
He'll
to
be
still
okay.
die. Yeah. But he should be fine. So you deploy your chute. It will look like it's not going to deploy, and then when you hit about 300 meters is when it will actually open. Or 4. That was that horrible crash.
That was
actually
my
the
ship
sound of
hitting
the
the-
rocket hitting the
Yeah.
water, yeah.
It's kind of peaceful, except that he's in the middle of the ocean.
But it floats. So
We just got to send a rescue team.
I mean, a lot of our astronauts, when they would land from the Apollo missions, would land in the ocean.
Yeah.
That was very common. Because it's easier to have a pod gently crash into the ocean than to gently crash into the ground.
This is true.
So we got you into orbit. We brought you back. Eventually, that target we see in the distance, that's what's in Mitch's future.
The moon. That's
Yes.
in the future in my dreams.
But the first time we reach the moon, I can almost guarantee you we won't be coming back. But that's okay. Because Kerbals don't die unless they explode, as we learned in the last video where you bounced off the ground. So,
Poor guy.
no, but I mean,
What's this guy's name? Sean Lorf.
Sean Lorf Kerman. Everyone is a Kerman on this planet.
Just one big happy astronaut family.
Just the most inbred, horrible people.
Well, that's how they come to look like this.
But look, you could at this point, I mean at this time, you could go extravehicular if you wanted, and you won't detach. You didn't die, though.
Sometimes I hate the person you decide to be. Look at him.
Nah, he's alive.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got his little jetpack, though. We can get back in. Get in there. Grab onto that, Anthony.
Oh, whoops. I should have.
He was attached. There he goes. Yeah.
Left the board there.
Okay. And he's in there.
I'm
He's safe.
sorry. That's not going to get old. But you were falling at you were so low altitude, there was no way you weren't going to die.
I'm never going to trust anything you ever say again.
We've done it. You've achieved
we orbited.
Yeah, and with that rocket, with a few minor modifications to that rocket, one more additional stage to kind of separate a lander, we can definitely get Mitch on the moon in the future going forward.
We're going to the moon.
So that's this time's learned to Kerbal. Join us next time for a trip to the moon where we may die. Mitch probably will not succeed in the first landing, and that's okay.
I'm glad you're making me feel bad.
I was going to say my first several moon landings, I died. So just preparing you.